everyone, we're going to take you through all 4 days, and we've got some changes this week that are really important, so I'm going to kick it over to Todd to start off.
Yeah, so this week we decided to add, so we're kind of going back to some basics. So we added one component. So on the right side of the spreadsheet, you'll see it says RPE, so that's rate of perceived exertion. So because everybody has different weights and different setups, we'll start putting that as a gauge of how hard the set should be. So the RPE is basically like a 1 to 10 scale. 10 meaning like that's maxed out set. Like I can't do any more. That was the hardest thing I've ever done, pretty much. So when something's that we have a lot this week in the 7 and 8 range. So that means like, if you're at an 8 RPE, the set was very difficult, but doable, and you could probably do it again with a decent long rest. So that's kind of how I want you guys to gauge your sets this week. And then, depending on what kind of weights you have, that's how you know if you can make it heavier or not. If you don't have a ton of weights and you can't make it super heavy, it's okay. We can do some things and work around it and slow down the tempo or do a couple more reps. Just depends on what your situation is. And then we simplified some of the setup of the workouts. So a lot of them are just like a superset between 2 exercises, and this just allows you guys to focus on the exercise and then maybe push the weight a little bit more than we have in the past. So focusing on some fundamental exercises and just quality over quantity.
And then we know you guys recorded your sleep last week, so we would like you to continue to do that. I would love to hear how that went, if you feel like you were surprised by how little or how great of sleep you had.
Yeah, and so, the first thing we're going to start focusing on is quantity of sleep. So, for an adult, the minimum for a night's sleep is 7 hours. So we want to set that target for your night of sleep. And that's the first thing we're gonna be focusing on. So, you track this week. This is good for a baseline, and then we'll do one more week and just see if it improves at all. So we want to see, now that you're aware of something, what type of improvements can you make? Because, to give you an example with eating, if you just track your food, let's say you're trying to follow a diet, gain weight, lose weight. If you track your food, you have a 40% higher chance of actually having success on your diet. So same thing with sleep. So if we bring awareness of sleep, we can start increasing sleep, increasing your recovery, and maximizing your workouts.
Cool. So I'll go through and demonstrate the 2 of us will demonstrate every exercise since we don't know your questions. So starting off with Monday, which is our high volume day, we have got, we've got the beginning each day, most of the time, a test out. So it starts off with a test goblet squat at 50% of body weight.
Yeah, so using a weight, anything here, looking for 50% of your body weight, that's ideal. I understand that's probably pretty heavy for most people. If you can't find 50% of your body weight, then just do a test up to 50 reps. So whatever weight you have, just don't go beyond 50 reps. It gets a little crazy if you go beyond that.
So you guys know how to do a goblet squat. We've done that many times. So moving on, you've got goblet squat and single leg deadlift. So I won't demonstrate that because we've done that before. Moving on to that, we've got a 3-point row and a floor press. So I'll have Todd demonstrate that one.
Okay, so a 3-point row, you can pretty much use anything as support. So the 3 points comes from your 2 legs and the support. So you can use a chair or something. You put your hand on, weights in one hand, grab the elbow back, and just rowing. Okay, and then switch sides. Should be heavy. You should be able to do a lot of weight in that. And then floor press, similarly, it's going to be on your back. Knees are bent. You're going to come down. You can do. It's set up for both hands at the same time. If you only have one dumbbell, do one at a time. It's going to come down, tap your elbow to the ground, and back up. That's it.
You don't get too dizzy there. And so just a point of note that instead of between each exercise, because these are supersets, if you don't know what that is, it means you're going straight from the one exercise right into the next. So you're doing those 3-point rows right into the floor press, and then you take your rest. So I try to put all in caps rounds instead of exercises. So the next thing we've got plank hip taps and spiders. We've done these before, but I'm going to demo just in case because it was a little bit early on. So we've got 10 on each. So here. So if you want to, can you tilt it a little further down? So the hip taps, you're just in that plank position. So just tapping that hip down on each side. That 10 per side. And then the spiders, same thing. You're in that plank and you're moving the knees up like that. I believe that's 10 per side as well. Trying to get those knees as close as your elbows as possible. Cool. Alrighty, and we're back. So moving on, we've got a run, so 2-minute run, 1-minute walk, 6 times through. So that's just for some general cardio. Again, if you guys are, it's hard for us to tell if you guys are starting to swim and that's gonna be your cardio, great, but if you're still out of the water, definitely really hone in on these cardio pieces. Okay, moving on to Wednesday, which is power. So the biggest thing, so I was so excited to hear everyone's max out testing last week with push-ups. If you haven't, let me know what you did. I love hearing. We're going to do that one more time. So it gives you the chance to really maximize your reps and see if you can at least beat it by 1 or 2, maybe even up to 5. So kicking the day off with that. And then moving into, today is a RPE of 9 to 10. So this day should be as powerful as possible. We've got a weighted goblet squat and a vertical jump. So again, like you do those 5 goblet squats straight into a vertical jump, you're not taking any extra rest. So that's 6 rounds, deadlift. So you guys have done that. And then broad jump, which instead of jumping up, you're jumping forward. And then we've got ballistic band rows and rotational ball throws. So Todd will demonstrate those.
Yeah, so with the ballistic band rows, it's going to be like if you have a band, you put it around something, it's just rapid fire rows. So, you know, if you're thinking aggressive, fast paced, and powerful. Yep. And then the rotational ball throws are going to be just, you know, really you can throw anything. So if you don't have a med ball, if it's a weight or whatever it may be, so it's going to be loaded up on one leg. You're going to load into this back hip and then throw whatever it is. So if you're going to throw, you can throw a med ball against a wall. You can throw it in your yard. You can throw pretty much anything. You want to get a decent load, no more than 15 pounds, so you can move it fast.
Okay. And then we have got a finisher. So this is an overhead med ball throw. So this again, like if you can do this outside, now that it's nice, it'd be preferred because you're really going to be extending your hips all the way through and throwing the ball over your head. Again, if you don't have a medicine ball, I know some of you do, some of you don't, you know, a heavy pillow, or honestly, if you're outside, even like an actual weight works. So we have that program at 3 times 2 minutes, just because you're most likely going to have to go and walk and get it and then continue to throw it behind your head.
Yeah, so throw it as high and far as you can behind you, and then walk to the weight to recover and the med ball, and then throw it again 2 minutes straight. You should be super out of breath by the end of that.
Okay. And then moving on to Thursday strength. So we've got, in the warm-up, we've got one new thing, which is glute pull. So I'll do a demo of that. Excited to hear, I didn't hear a lot about Turkish get-ups last week, but wanting to make sure that you increase weight a little bit now that you're getting the technique down. And then we're moving into a half kneeling overhead press and pull-ups. So I will demonstrate, I think we've done this before, but I'll do a quick demo of both. If you want to rotate the camera. So the glute pulls is just going to be really where you're grabbing your ankle and you're pulling in. So just doing that 8 per side, getting that glute stretch, just like we do with those knee hugs. Okay, and then the half kneeling overhead press, you've got that weight, you're here, and then you're up, down. Okay, and then switching per side. Okay, you got those pull-ups. Again, if you have a pull-up bar, awesome. If not, using a band to pull down, and that's max reps, as many as you can do. Hopefully you guys aren't getting too dizzy. And then we've got an RFE goblet squat and straight leg bridges. So we'll have Todd demo those too.
That's just, the RFE is another name for Bulgarian, so rear foot elevated. So just here, heavy goblet hold, tapping the knee. Okay. What was the other thing?
Leg bridges.
Straight leg bridges?
Yep.
You guys have done these, but just feet are up. You're gonna point your toes, legs straight, just bridging off the ground. Squeeze your glutes, hamstrings. Yep.
Perfect. Okay. And again, that's still that superset, so going straight from one to the other without that rest. And then finishing off the day with lateral ball throw and a ball slam. So same thing, we're gonna work with, if you don't have a med ball, a heavy pillow, weighted object, both of those work. And then those frog pumps. So I'll do, since Todd's already there, he can do a nice little frog pump just to demonstrate.
Yeah.
So you've got that.
So knees wide, feet together.
Really driving from those heels.
Yep.
That'll be the finisher of the day. And then moving on to Friday. So last day before Saturday, biggest thing is, so we kind of worked on adding on to the weighted single-legged morning with rotation. So I'll have Todd demonstrate that. And then T-spine, hand behind head, 15 per side.
So the good morning with rotation, it's gonna be here, weights in your chest, step back, hinge, and then just turn towards that foot. Rotate. Boom, like that. Then with the T-spine drill, it's gonna be here, all fours. One hand behind your head, drive that elbow down, and then open as high as you can, trying to rotate from your mid back. Just like that.
And we did the 90-90 stretch last week. And then side plank starfish. So shout out to Rick. I know this one's gonna be a hard one. So this is always was a challenge in my swimming career.
All right, so we're just gonna be here in a side plank, up, top hand is straight up. It's gonna lift, so the angles match like a starfish, and back down, 10 aside.
And then down dog, up dog.
And then down dog, up dog. It's gonna be here, nice down dog position, get a good stretch, and just kind of transition right into an up dog, like a scorpion position, and then back.
Perfect. Alrighty, so that is pretty much the end of it. So any other questions that you guys have from previous weeks or at all, we're here for you. But this was kind of everything all the way through. Like we said, make sure that RP, when it's 10, it's as hard as you can go. But pretty much everything's between 7 and 10 this week, so it'll be a good one. So have a wonderful week, and we will see you out there.